So I was asked, how did I go from street money to weld money? Because you can tell that I was raised in the streets. I was raised with Crips and gangsters, gangster disciples. And I was raised how to hustle. So growing up, all I knew was how to get a bag. And it wasn't necessarily with drugs, even though I did sell drugs, but I learned how to hustle on every level. And once I got incarcerated at 16 years old, my mom introduced welding to me at around 17 on visitation. All I knew before then was street money. And she knew this. And you know what she said? She said, son, I know you're not going to get out and get a regular job because you have already touched money. You have already touched thousands. So there's no way you're just going to get a regular job and be content with it. But these welders, they make a lot of money. They travel. They can start their own business. They can be welding instructors. You can tutor. There's so many things you can do. She planted that seed into me, and that's literally how I went from street money to welding money. In the conversion, I learned that it's pretty much the same. It's just different principles. See, in the streets, we have different codes, and doing welding, there's different codes. And there's also different codes when doing business. So we can convert one over to the other, but the business don't convert over to the streets. You see what I'm saying? But the streets can convert over to the business. So coming from where I come from, being from the streets, I learned how to make those numbers without jeopardizing myself or going to the feds or going to the state prison again, because I already did 10 years incarcerated. I already did a decade. So that's why I like to lead by example. And I come here only to just educate, only to show you that it can be done. That I went from street money to welding money. That, I went from being 13, 14, 15 years old in a Benz, even though, even though it was what it was, how I got it. But I did it at that young of an age and got incarcerated. So everything that I got chance to gain, even some ones that I have met in prison who have got great stories on how they got a bag, they lost it. They lost it. But once I learned how to get that whale money, I didn't lose it. Like I didn't lose it. All I had to do was learn how to make different investments, learn how to always get a bag. Because as long as you got your equipment, as long as you mobile and ready to go, you can always get a bag. But the streets can leave you in situations where you can get incarcerated. Your family gonna need you. People gonna miss you. It can be so many things that can happen when we living in the streets. That's all we know. I understand. I get it. But now we can do better because we know better. You see what I'm saying? Now we got some information around us where we can actually use this to take us to that next level. And that's what I want to do. With my welding and hip hop program, with me teaching independence of welding, my goal is to give it to you from my standpoint and help you turn that street money into welding money. You literally can leave that and don't have the headache and still be able to maintain. Hog on.